thank you, Rachel, for coming on the Red Carpet Roundtable.
Hi, it's so great to
Hello,
be
hello.
on the rebranded show. This is so exciting.
Well,
It's
thank
awesome.
well,
hmm
thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
So,
thank you for having
Rachel,
me.
I want to get into what got you attracted into becoming a film director.
Oh, wow. Way back question. Well, my whole dad side of the family was in the business. So I was around it growing up. And my dad was a huge influence, and just him showing me the way he introduced films to me as a kid really got me hooked into um what the world of cinema can offer to people, like the experiences that I was given as a kid. Um really like blew my mind and changed like the way I thought about things, and really just influenced me. So as I grew up, I always had an interest and like would put a foot in here and there and try things out. And then when I got a little older, I was like, oh yeah, I think I really want to do this. So yeah, I would say it's a huge family influence. And then the films that I was introduced to growing up also had a huge influence. So
For that younger generation that may be listening to the show, what age did you get started, or what age did the passion or love for making films come over you?
when I first started to fall in love with cinema, I was probably like 6 or 7 because of my dad and the movies we were watching. And then I dabbled in the process. Like as a teenager, I would go help sometimes or be a PA for my dad. Um, and I was kind of like, okay, I just didn't really understand like where I would fit in. I didn't know if I had any talent in that area. Um, but when I got, it was kind of funny. I was in college. And I was in a literature class, an English lit class that I absolutely loved. I had an amazing teacher. And we were given an assignment to present to the class about whatever. We were assigned a story, like a short story from classic literature. And I had Kate Chopin's The Story of an Hour. And I convinced my team, my group, I was like, let's make a film. Let's make a film as the presentation instead of just doing a PowerPoint or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we did. We made a silent film of Kate Chopin's The Story of an Hour. It wasn't very good, but we had a blast making it. And the teacher was surprised. The class thought it was hilarious and like good considering we didn't know what we were doing. And I was just like, I love this. So that's when I kind of was like, I think I want to do this. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it happens in stages, and you don't know what you want to do all at once.
Right, right.
Because I definitely developed in what I wanted to do as I went on. Like I had no idea I would like screen. I was not a writer. I didn't like screenwriting till the end of college when a professor who was a artist in residence who was like an active
hmm
screenwriter in Hollywood was teaching at the school and did a screenwriting class, and I had to do it as a an elective. Um
Of
and
course
then I was
you
like,
did.
holy cow. And I loved it. It opened up this whole new way of like, I was like, this is the way my brain works. And then I took all the script screenwriting classes, and then I um became a writer, if I do say so myself now. I think I can say it now. It's kind of weird to say it, but yeah, I think I can say I'm a writer now. Along with, making films. So, mhm.
That's amazing that how much influence your father had over you, during at such a young time in your
Mhm.
life, and here you are now.
Yeah.
So let's go into the second part of that. How
Mhm.
does your dad feel about you now being in the driver's seat?
I think he's excited. He's very, he always champions what I do. We hope to work together at some point because he's a DP. And it's kind of funny because considering how long we've both been in the business, we haven't done much together in terms of like a director DP thing. We've only done one little film together like that. Now we've worked on some of the big projects together, but we've been in completely different departments and like whatever. He was always in camera, I was always in production, on different like mainstream stuff.
Mhm.
Um, And we weren't together always, but sometimes it would be nice to see him on set. But yeah, now he's just very excited and very supportive, and it's great. I can't speak uh well of him enough. Like, it's what's really cool is that a lot of people in the industry down here in New Orleans, it's a small community, know him. And it's just been interesting to see his reputation. Like, he's everybody the first thing that people say when they find out I'm Jerry Jacobs' daughter or whatever, is that, oh, Jerry, he's good people. And I was just like, everybody has something good to say about my dad, and like, people will talk if people don't like people in this industry. People talk. It's not a secret who doesn't like who. But I've never heard anybody say anything negative about my dad, and that is something to aspire to. Like, it's always just really meaningful when I hear that, and I want to be like that, you know? So I hope it will be true of me one day. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think you're completely right. It's just like so many times in this industry we are met with, people who aren't carrying the same type of energy and vibe, but that's what makes us great is that we are all different, but at the same time, I just think that this is something that is so hard to get through, to
Yeah.
go through,
Yep.
and having people in the same industry being supportive is very well needed on a
Yeah, it's
regular
huge.
Hmm.
basis.
Mm-hmm. It's huge.
Yeah, 100%. So being around people that support us is absolutely amazing, and and it's actually encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned your father, you want to work together. What is your dream, both of you, your dream genre film that you guys want to do?
Well, I we did the short film version of a script that I wrote called Young Boy. And we did it with this amazing organization that um encourages kids to learn about the film industry.
Hmm.
So we did that last year and shot the short version of this film with the kids as the crew, which was exciting. And it did pretty good in film festivals, considering, and it was just a really sweet little piece. But the dream would be to be able to be a director and DP team for my feature film projects, and the feature length version of Young Boy being one of them, and one of the most, probably my favorite script, as well as his, or not my favorite, but like the one I want to do the most is Young Boy. And to do it with him would be very, very special. But any of the projects that I've written, or ones that I've been invited to direct that I have not written, and to have him work on it with me, would be incredible. I don't think we'll be able to do all of them together, but I think that hopefully we'll be able to do most of them together, which would be fantastic. So yeah.
Amazing.
How old were you when you became your as a DP, a filmmaker? What was the age that you started out at that really where you really felt like I'm really getting the hang of this?
Ooh, the hang of it, man, I don't know. It was much later. Well, I'm not a DP. My dad's the DP, but in terms of like writing, directing, it was like, yeah, way later. I would say, like, I went through like an attempt, or not a long attempt, in my early 20s, and I think everybody has to go through this, so where you make stuff, you fail, it's not very good. And you kind of learn what the heck you're doing. And it took me years to like really figure out what the process is, and like what's a good story, how do I get the camera, and how do I get the actors, and how do I get what's physically in front of me to tell the story of what's in my head? How do I get it to
Mhm.
look a certain way? How do I get the technical stuff down? How do I get the direction down? How do I get the nuance and the scripts down to tell a real story? And it took me years. So I think probably in my late 20s is when I started. And I don't even know if I have the hang of it now. I think you're always learning to get the hang of it. But I definitely started to get more of like oh, okay, now I know what I'm doing and there's always room to grow, but in my late 20s, like probably 28, 29 is when I started like, oh, I'm not so embarrassed to show this, but I'm always going to be embarrassed to show at anything I do. But it's like this is now I'm starting to come into like, what I've been honing, hopefully. So, yeah, late 20s. So don't give up. Don't give up.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it's like if you didn't have such a great influence of your father being there, I mean, you know, what would you have done instead of becoming a filmmaker, writer?
Oh, interesting. There's many things, and I still think I'll do some of them anyway. I've always liked working with kids, and I'm a big summer camp person. So I've run a lot of summer camps. I've done a lot of work with the youth and like leadership,
Hmm.
um, like conferences, summer programs, things like that. So I think I would go more into that. I have always had an interest in psychology. That was my original major. Um, and like counseling. So I might go into that. Like I might have gone into that. I don't think I will now all the way because it's such a like it would completely kind of take over everything. But I always loved the idea of like helping kids, working with kids. Um, and also like working at the UN. I love taking I would take groups of kids to the UN for different conferences so that they could learn and observe what's going on, and be able to ask questions and just kind of learn about international relations and like what major topics are going on in the world and like what they can do to be aware and like be a part of like change and good things like that. And then also like just if they want to get artistic, to do theater, to do the arts. I don't know, I just kind of have this like spectrum of things that I like to do and they kind of rotate in my life,
Hmm.
of like what's more prominent. Sometimes it's film, sometimes it's working with the kids, sometimes it's studying. So yeah.
That's amazing. Um, since you brought up the youth, what is your dream and your hope and your passion for the future young male or young ladies out there who are looking up to you or working with you or met with you in camp who are want to be a film director and
Mm.
they're learning from you? What is your hope and message that you're sending out to people because they're going to eventually, I hate to say that, they may never see you again after some camp, maybe, nor they may never know. But what is your
Mhm.
hope and message that you tell them every day that to keep them going, to say, hey, you can be like where I am?
Well, I would say if they ask that specifically for film, I would say don't be afraid of failure. Because it'll teach you something every time. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna suck sometimes, and that's okay. Let it suck. It will, but you can learn from it. Um, and it's gonna help you to be better in the next things. A friend of mine told me, like, uh your goal for every project that you do should be that it's one step better than the last thing that you did so that you're not trying to make your magnum opus on day two. You're not trying to have it, you're not trying to be like a Scorsese on day one. Some people will have that natural talent, but it's going to be one in a billion. And that's great. Awesome. But most people aren't, and that's okay. Make each project one step better than the last one, and you're gonna have a ladder of success. And just keep going. Just keep going on the ladder so that you're gonna get and one day you're gonna realize, whoa, I never dreamed I'd be in this spot, but it's because
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
will have put in the effort and you'll be able to watch all your projects and say, whoa, I went from this to this. I can definitely do that with mine. And it still has, I can't wait to see where it goes to make it even more awesome. But that'll happen for you if you just continue on. And don't be afraid to take breaks. Don't be afraid to have other jobs to supplement your income every now and then. Like it's hard to get a full-time job as a filmmaker all the time. Sometimes it's full-time, sometimes it's part-time, sometimes it's you need to get money and then like come back to it. Like that's okay. Just keep going. I've had to do that, and I will probably continue to have to do that until, like, yeah, until I'm more established, and that's okay.
And so one thing I would mention that's good you brought up because a lot of people, including actors, they have a hard time understanding about part-time and full-time jobs. They're like, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you made up a good point, and I think I don't want to say I think it's a good idea to say, hey, it's okay to take a break. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to
Yes.
do this. It's okay to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth. It's just like, the priority. But like you said, to keep going forward
Mm-hmm.
and you never know you'll get there. But like
Mhm.
but you went back again to me. You were going back to saying it's okay to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
But also you said there's challenges. You're gonna get hurt, but there's challenges. It's not
Mm-hmm.
a bad hurt. It's a good hurt that's saying, hey, this is what's happening, but it's actually kind of we're saying this exciting hurt
Mm-hmm.
because it's like you're learning
Yes.
something. And then
Yes,
people might be
totally.
saying, what do you mean it's so exciting to be hurt? It's like, no, not like, it's not hurt. It's like not that way. It's like a passion hurt. It's like you're
Yes.
excited, but you want to go for it. And you're like, and then that's where I keep coming back to what you're saying. It's like I'm so excited, but I gotta do this part-time job. I gotta go work this. I gotta go work, and then I
Yeah,
can come back to it. So that's a
exactly.
that's a good point.
Yeah. And I've experienced a lot too. Like when I first started doing the film festival circuit, like at the very beginning, it was like every emotion, everything was hinging on the one or two festivals that I submitted to because I had never done it before. And like when I would get rejected, it was like the worst thing in the world. And now it's just like, no big deal. You get rejected from something because you learn what it means. It teaches you something about yourself. You'll get feedback, whatever, and you can tailor things to help you get into other festivals and other projects and things like that. So I experienced that very keenly with the first like couple of months I was doing film festival stuff, and now it's just like no big deal. After a few hundred of them, you're like, eh, it's fine. Keep going. So yeah, but it like makes you want to be better. It makes you want to it makes you more excited to like be able to do more things. And then yeah, like you said, taking breaks also allows you to have the energy to come back and be better. That was kind of a roundabout way of saying that, but yeah.
Oh no, thank you.
Yeah, I want to bounce off of that. Now that you have reached the point of becoming an award-winning writer, director, filmmaker, how has that increased your confidence and in your vision for the things that you see yourself creating in the future?
Well, I think it's just it's validation, which was very good. Like when I got those things, it's like, okay, I'm not crazy. I can do it. Somebody likes it somewhere. Um, so that gives you some confidence to keep going and honing the skills the way that you've been working on because it's like, okay, well, I must be doing something right. And I want to get better. So just to keep listening to feedback of people that you can know and trust and that are good, reliable sources. Um, and it's given me the confidence to approach people who are interested in me, or that I'm interested in them to say, "Hey, this is me, this is who I am, this is my portfolio," and like I'm good to go. Like I'm good to go. I'm ready to go, and I can pull it off, you know?
Yeah,
Um, so that it's given me confidence to be able to say, um, I'm confident in my skill set and I can achieve what you're looking for, you know?
that's pretty cool because I've seen, you know, your film here, Young Boy, and some of the award-winning, the ones that you've won awards from as well. And did your name come from the movie, your production, and you just wanted to keep that? How did that stem about? Where you were just like, yo, I'm just gonna go off. I know that you made Young Boy the film,
Right.
Now we're talking about your production.
Oh, like the production company.
Yeah.
I just start when I wrote the feature, I just started Young Boy Productions LLC just it's not so much I'm not so much a production company, but it's more to protect my work. So I just put everything under that. And I did it because I just chose Young Boy because it's like really dear to my heart. So are my other scripts, like, and they have different meanings to me. They're all very special to me, but I put it under that name because it was my first feature film script that I wrote. And it's put that was like 5 years ago now. And I have several more, but that was the first feature length one that I completed. Um, and it was special to me. So that's why I named it that. And it's just there to protect my work. So, but I'll work under whatever production company wants to work with me as the director, or if it's my own film, that I'll create a specific LLC for that film, which is the safest thing to do out there. You got to create your own LLC per film so that you're not yourself or your production company is not liable. It's that film and that film only. Um,
And can you tell
yeah.
them why?
Um, if you work, and this is the standard thing to do anyway, but you want to do this, especially for features, some people do it for short films too. I've worked on few short films that have done this. So like if something goes wrong, like during filming or whatever, only the assets and budget and whatever of that film are liable. Like you're not personally liable, and not your personal
Gotcha.
production, like, or finances or anything like that, or your business is not liable. It's just the film and its assets and its budget or whatever would be liable. So it's just a safety net, and it's just a smarter business thing to do. So yeah, create an LLC for every film that you do.
That's awesome. That's good info.
That is
Yeah.
a very good info. That would help a lot of future upcoming actors. I mean, not actors, film directors out there. Apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem. I mean, some actors make their movies or can give, suggestions to people who, maybe are on the greener side of things.
Hmm.
When you're collaborating early on, it's, it's who knows what, and you all come together and to form a full pot of knowledge. So, yeah.
Um, who is your dream film producer or actor that you want to work with on your set that you're film making?
Stanley Kubrick, but unfortunately he's not here anymore. Oh gosh, that's such a hard question. Ugh. I would love to work with Alfonso Cuarón. Um, and I would love to work with oh my gosh, who did the King's Speech? Ugh,
Oh, the King's Speech.
the guy who did the King's is failing me. Is it Tony? Oh, now I have to look it up. Wow,
Um,
I'm blanking. I should, who do you want to work with? I should know. I promise you I know this person. Hold on. Um, the King's
I did not
Speech.
mean to ask you a hard question.
No, it's fine. I'm always struggle with things like that because it's so hard for me to pick one. Tom Hooper. I knew it was a T. Tom Hooper. Yeah, Tom Hooper. I would love to work with him as well. Yeah. I really want Lucasfilm to hire me. Hey, Lucasfilm.
Shout out
Yeah, shout
Lucasfilm.
out Lucasfilm. Hire me. I have some things up my sleeves. But yeah.
Never
Absolutely.
know.
Yeah.
You never
Oh, the
know.
ultimate dream would be to have a Star Wars trilogy. I would take that over an Oscar. I would take it over any award. I would be like, just give me a Star Wars trilogy and I can die happy.
Wow. That
You're
Yeah.
a big
that would
Star Wars
be
fan.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
and that
That's
would be
right.
huge.
Yeah, it would be huge. It's probably out of my league. It's probably out of my league at this particular moment, but store like considering what's been going on right now,
Hmm.
I could definitely do it. So, at least story-wise, I would like pad my production with all the special effects people that need to be there. So, to make it work.
Amazing.
But yeah. So
Do
yeah.
you have any upcoming film projects?
Yeah, I have several feature films that are brewing. So it's just a matter of which one comes to fruition first. And yeah, we'll see. So it's the feature game is just it's a matter of years. How many years is it going to take? And so they've been brewing for several years now, and now there's some actual advancement, which is great. There is one that I think is going to happen first, but I don't want to jinx it. Um, so yeah, some are mine and some are other people's that I'm very proud to be attached to as the director. So yay. Been getting asked to do that a lot, which is great.
That's has to be a great feeling, especially when you've gotten to this level.
It is a great feeling, and I can't wait for the next step because then I know when the next step happens, it'll be very big and it's going to roll and it's going to go real fast. So I'm like gearing up for that moment. And I think learning to have a lot of patience for the feature side of things. It's like if you just keep going, it's going to happen. So because it's just a different ball game. It's not the same as a short film. It's not the same thing as a pilot. It's just a completely different ball game.
Right.
That's okay, you know?
Hmm. Since
So
you brought
And
up,
a lot longer.
yeah, it's a way
yes,
longer, that's way more complicated, but that's okay. Hmm.
since you brought up patience, I want to get on talk about this topic. Being a film director,
Hmm.
how, and I think this is advice for a lot of upcoming as well. How do you find patience to, how do I put this, remain calm and like not like getting off on those actors and other people on cast? No, that's where the light goes. No, that's where this goes. Or no, or like how do you like, no, that's where you're supposed to be. And then how do you just go the little close your eyes, breathe, and just like just kind of calm down, like just let it flow. How do you process, and what's your advice to everybody out there?
Well, I'd say like everybody has their bad moments, right? And I'm sure I've had mine. But my goal is to always try to create the best environment for the cast and crew because I've seen too many directors, and actors and producers who create really toxic environments. And I've been, victim is the wrong word, but I've been privy to those experiences and have been part of a crew that was not treated well, been part of a cast that was just not treated well, and it's awful. It's hell, and you don't want to be there, and you can't do your best work, and it's like I never want to be treated like that ever again, and so I don't want to treat anyone like that. So that's my motivation. And I also just I like people, in general. I mean, I get aggravated every now and then, everybody does, but to the best of my ability, I try to yeah, just create the best environment possible and so that people can flourish in doing, what they are there to do. Like, I tell people it's like let's everybody bring your A game, be safe. If you need something, say something. If you see something, say something. But other than that, bring your A game and let's have a good time. Let's have a good time making a piece of art or whatever it is that we're doing because we're not curing cancer. We're not, going to the moon. We're making a movie that's hopefully has some art in it and let's have a great time and like get down to business, but not it like let's have a good yeah. Like enjoy it, be able to enjoy it. So, and I also had some good examples. Like my dad's is a person who's like that, and um, there's been I've had some very good mentors, and I've also had some really awful people that I've worked under, and I'm just like, I don't want to be like that. So, hopefully, I'm on the good side of that. That's my goal. So yeah. Am I perfect at it? No, but I always strive to do that. And if I'm ever a problem, I ask people to tell me. So I'm like, just don't do it in front of everybody. And that's the other thing too. It's like if I have a problem with somebody or something, don't bring it up in front of everybody. I take them aside and we have a conversation. So
That's the one
Yeah.
thing I want to say. That's a good point, and I think that um bring them to the side and not
mhm,
making a scene from all the actors,
mhm.
because I personally believe that if you bring them from everybody, it makes them look awkward, makes them feel bad, and it makes
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
set like.
it's a
And then
weird,
now when you get back on
yeah,
set, for
it's a weird
example, I'm
vibe.
gonna use Daryl or Rachel, but you get on set, everybody will be looking at Daryl and it's like, what's going on, right? And then when Daryl gets back on set, it will look weird, right? It's kind of
Yeah,
like,
Well, so you
okay, what? How
feel
do
that
I?
it's the
It's
vibe is
the
weird, the
environment and
energy.
vibe. But I agree with you,
Uncomfortable,
Rachel. It's
there's
like when you
pressure.
pull them to
Yeah.
the side where nobody's watching, it's just you and the person.
Hmm.
I think, no, I don't want to say I think it's 100% a good idea because
Yeah.
there's nobody around, nobody listening to the conversation, you don't know what's happening. Then you get back on set and it's like nothing has ever happened,
Hmm.
right? And that's where
Yeah.
people are like, wait a minute, he's changed, right? What
Mhm.
happened, right? But they won't, nobody will know because it's just between the film director and the actor or the actress. But
Exactly. And
that's a
if there is an issue,
point.
then hopefully that, that's all smoothed out and the vibe continues to be smooth. So,
You
hmm
Thank you for bringing that up.
yeah.
know. As far as your education going through the years to becoming a film director, what is the education that really inspired and helped you the most during your process?
To be honest with you, I learned the most by being a production assistant and in the AD department for years. Um, so that was the most educational, as well as working with my dad over the years. When I was in school, I was originally a psychology major for a couple of years. I switched it to film theater communications because I wanted to get out. I wanted to graduate, but I also wanted, I wanted the something in film to back it up, but most people were like, don't go to film school, that's stupid, it's a waste of time, da 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 da. And it kind of, I wouldn't say it was for the most part because I still have the communications degree and I had a good time for the most part and I met a lot of great people. And I got to do a couple of good things, and I that's where I learned screenwriting. Like that was the most like thing that I wouldn't have learned anywhere else, and that gave me the time to really discover that. And never in a million years would I have thought that I could do that. So I'm very grateful to film school for like bringing out the screenwriter in me and learning how to do that. Um, and then I went on to get later, I went on to get a master's in philosophy, which required me to do the most writing I've ever done in my life. And so that has also helped grow my screenwriting brain. Even though it was a completely different type of writing, it's supplemented the way that I could talk about things. And made it much more natural for me in the screenwriting world. So, after I finished that, I would say it all sort of melds together, but that's sort of been my experience. And then just doing it, going out and shooting films and failing and hating your shots, hating the angles, realizing you messed up and it doesn't look good, figuring out that like, oh, this lens does this and gives me the frame and the scene that I want, and this doesn't, and I need to do this instead of that, and just like a toddler putting together a thing, trying to figure it out. So yeah, I think it's all of those things combined. And I think everybody who has a different process, not everybody needs to, I didn't need to go to film school per se. I just could have continued in production, but I'm very grateful for the screenwriting aspect. And I really did want to graduate. So I'm very glad that I did all of that. And then, yeah, everybody's gonna have a different process of learning, but I think there's some basic things that we can all relate to, like, you know, keep going, like keep making things fail. It's okay, figure it out, put it together. It'll take, some people a shorter amount of time, some people a longer amount of time, and that's okay. So, yeah, everybody's process looks different.
That's
Great,
amazing.
great message.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then, so where can people connect to you and find you?
If you wanna connect, I'm on Instagram. I think my handle is Rachel_Jacob_Nola. That's mostly where I communicate things, but you can also email me. My email's on there. My reel is on there. My stuff's on, I think also on IMDb. Um, I think you can reach me through Pro. So yeah.
Well, Rachel,
I
thank
think,
you.
yeah, I have one final
Oh, I'm
question
sorry,
for
dear.
you.
Sorry.
And that question is, going forward, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And when
Um,
it comes to filmmaking and being a director on that film, what type of film would it be?
um, I hope in the next 5 years that I will have a couple of features already done. Um, and that I'll be on a roll to continue doing that. And I would like to have directed at least three of my own scripts, including Young Boy, or at least be like beginning to work on Young
Hmm.
Boy is like one of the top things. I hope that I'll have a couple more features written as well. um like completed because I have like four in the works that I'm in the middle of, and it's like once I hit the middle, I always am like, I don't know where to go. So um yeah, that, and I hope to be traveling again and getting a few other things in my life that I want to do done. And I hope to be able to be bouncing all over to do films as well as projects with kids. So, mhm,
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel.
mhm.
We cannot wait to see your upcoming and future films and all the projects you'll be doing.
Thank
And
you.
I know for sure you will be able to be bouncing off the wall and traveling soon and having all the great time. Is
Yes.
if someone comes to you right now or tomorrow the next day and say, I want to make a film just about you, Rachel, what do you hope up to your little age, up to now, to your age,
Hmm.
and someone says, I want to make a film about you, Rachel, what do you hope your if they let you write the story of the film about you from age baby till now, what do you hope
Yeah.
the film will be about?
Whoa, that's such a oh man, that's such a hard question. I hope the film would be about. Well, that's so weird to analyze yourself like that. Um,
I know, sorry, but that just
yeah. I hope it would be about a person who's flawed, uh, that could help people.
Mhm.
About a flawed person who could help people. And hopefully that a good person who's flawed that can help people. That's what I hope it would be about.
And outgoing that loves summer camps.
Yeah, yeah. Outgoing.
Who and I personally believe that if it does happen, it's going to be a great story because you have the UN, you take, you're the UN, you said you have the summer camps, you have your film stories, and
Hmm.
I believe it's going to be impactful, if
Hmm.
in that, and Rachel, you have so many more projects that you're going to do. It's so exciting, and
Hmm.
we're so proud of you, and we can't wait to have you back on the red carpet round table to talk more about it.
Thank you. I can't wait to. You guys will always get exclusive stuff if I ever get to that point. Yeah, 100%.
That would be cool.
Well, thank you again, Rachel. Let's stay in touch and please
Yes.
be safe, be healthy, and like I said, get better. Please get
Thank
better.
you. Working on it. Totally working on it. But yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
You're very welcome. We'll
Have a
stay in
great
touch, Rachel.
and take care of yourself, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.